In southeastern Massachusetts right now, trying to buy a perfectly staged move-in ready home feels like entering a combat zone. To even stay in the conversation, buyers are dropping inspection contingencies, offering cash gaps, and pushing their bids tens of thousands of dollars over the asking price. This creates the turnkey trap. When you buy a house that looks like a magazine cover on day one, you pay a massive inflated premium for someone else's paint colors and cabinet choices. Winning that bidding war means you start your homeownership journey with the highest possible monthly payment and zero immediate room to grow your property's value. There is a practical alternative that most buyers walk right past: homes with completely dependable structures but tired, outdated aesthetics. These are the houses with faded exterior paint, worn wall-to-wall carpeting, and kitchens that haven't been touched since 1998. This chart highlights the financial difference between these two paths. On the left, you have the towering price of a turnkey home. On the right, the base price of a dated home, plus a realistic renovation budget stacked on top. Notice the gap between them. That measurable space is your instant equity potential. It represents the cosmetic arbitrage, the financial room where you can actively build your own wealth instead of borrowing money to pay a flipper. Capturing that value requires a simple mindset shift. You trade instant gratification on move-in day for a calculated long-term investment. The main reason buyers avoid dated homes is fear. They worry a few ugly carpets are hiding a massive money pit. This checklist shows how we separate safe investments from dangerous ones. Draw a strict boundary between superficial flaws and critical system failures. On the safe side, we have cosmetic updates: faded paint, stained carpets, outdated hardware, and scuffed trim. These are simple, highly affordable fixes. On the danger side, we look for structural red flags: sloping floors, bowing foundation walls, sticking windows, or large exterior cracks. Fixing a structural defect requires specialized engineers and costs anywhere from $2,000 to well over $30,000. You can easily swap out those cabinet pulls over a weekend, but you cannot DIY a failing foundation. Mistaking a true structural defect for a simple cosmetic flaw will instantly erase any equity you hope to gain. Once you confirm a home has solid bones, you need to decide where to spend your renovation budget to guarantee the highest return on investment. This quadrant chart maps out your priorities. The horizontal axis measures cost and complexity. The vertical axis measures visual impact and equity. Your easiest wins live in the top left. Fresh, neutral paint and modern hardware cost little, but completely refresh a room. In the top right, you have major aesthetic overhauls, like a custom kitchen. The visual reward is high, but upfront costs are steep. Down in the bottom right are the worst investments for immediate equity. Replacing a sewer line or fixing a foundation is incredibly expensive, adding zero visual appeal. Your financial leverage comes from dominating that low-cost, high-impact quadrant the minute you get the keys. Even for low-cost updates, buyers often wonder how they will pay for materials after emptying their savings on a down payment.
The solution lies in specialized renovation mortgages, specifically the FHA 203K or Fannie Mae Homestyle loans. This graphic illustrates how they work. These loans bundle the purchase price and your estimated repair costs into one single mortgage payment. There is a trade-off. These loans require slightly more upfront paperwork, our own cash reserves, while building personal wealth. Executing this strategy requires strict discipline. If you do things out of order, you risk making expensive mistakes. Look at this roadmap. It dictates exactly how a renovation should proceed: inspection, financing, major systems, and finally, cosmetic updates. It starts with a rigorous home inspection. You need to ensure the bones are solid before committing a single dollar. Later, structural and system repairs always precede cosmetic work. You never want to install beautiful hardwood floors only to have them ruined by a leaky pipe ignored in step 3. Delaying the fun visual updates to follow this rigid sequence separates a guaranteed return on investment from an expensive, frustrating disaster. Let's look at how this plays out with a recent buyer who capitalized on overlooked inventory right here in Middleboro. The property sat on the market because it looked rough. Worn carpets, faded wood paneling, and a general lack of maintenance drove the competition away. But the buyer verified the home had a solid foundation and a good roof. Because the seller was motivated and other buyers were distracted by the aesthetics, they negotiated a purchase price well below the market average.
After closing, the buyer targeted those high-impact quadrant items. They spent a few weekends pulling up carpet, rolling on fresh neutral paint, and installing modern light fixtures. Just days after finishing those simple updates, the home received an official appraisal that came in significantly higher than their purchase price, plus the cost of materials. This equity gain followed directly from applying the Cosmetic Arbitrage framework to the right property. The fixer-upper path is highly lucrative, but it requires a specific tolerance for effort. You have to decide if it aligns with your goals. This decision tree simplifies the choice. First, if you must move in within 30 days, follow the yes arrow to buy turnkey. If your timeline is flexible, ask, will you manage contractors or paint yourself? If yes, target cosmetic fixers. If you lack the patience to live in a construction zone or simply hate the idea of managing repairs, the turnkey premium is the necessary price you pay for immediate peace of mind. But if you are willing to navigate renovation paperwork, wield a paintbrush, and look past some ugly paneling, this strategy is your strongest path to entering the market and creating your own wealth. It takes a little vision and patience, but the end result is a home tailored exactly to your taste. With solid structural bones, clear project math, and expert real estate guidance, a dated home provides a significant financial advantage in a competitive market.